right, as we are talking about libraries, we are talking about elements that were downloaded to our library. Where is that library that we are talking about? So the library is this little other button here. Here we have the library of elements, okay? We will have the element that came from the catalogs, and we can also create generic elements. So if you want to create our own element, we can create it here, creating for example, I would like to create a specific emitter, for example, that is a radiator. I just add a new one here. I can add the name that I want with the brand that I want, for example, and add the parameters related to a radiator in this case, and also save this information to my local library and use it from a future project. Okay, so you don't have to use just those elements that are from the catalogs. Maybe you are working with a specific situation that is not part of those brands, so it's another brand or it's something specific from the region that you are working. So here you can also create generic elements and save it to your library. Okay, but here there is a new feature that I think it's very important, that is related to the air distribution materials, more specifically to the way or the type of ducts that we can create here at CYPEHVAC. Okay, so from this version, the version 2025B, now are available rigid, semi-flexible, and flexible ducts. Okay, so here we can create these different situations here. Okay, so the rigid ducts, we can create rectangular, two types of rectangular here. Okay, with sections that can be designed with different, you can introduce the data in different ways. We'll see an example in a while. We can also create rigid circular section ducts. Okay, and it's very easy to create here a series of duct or a new model. For example, in my folder, let's call that this system here works as folders. So in my folder of circular section rigid ducts, I don't have anything in this moment, so I can add a new element. So it could be, for example, rigid ducts from the brand I, for example. I don't know, just adding a reference to that. I can add a description, and then I can start adding different sizes or different references with the diameters. In this case, they are circular ducts, so just the diameter, and then this information will be available to then in my elements. It's gonna be one of the elements available to then model these ducts in our installation. Okay, so if I accept here, I will have here a new type or a new series or a new family of rigid ducts from one specific brand that I created. I can also duplicate this information and then edit and create, for example, the brand X, and delete this one, or delete this one, or change this one to, I don't know, 130. So here you can personalize it according to the criteria that you want. Okay, but the point is, here you can create this rigid ducts in this library. So for the rectangular sections, I just created one specific case here with 3 sizes. Okay, and when we talk about semi-flexible ducts, we have the same situation. We have some semi-flexible ducts that are rectangular, where I also created here some sections, okay, some sizes, and also circular. So let's create here some circular semi-flexible, okay. So let's just fill our library with different elements. And then we also have the flexible with rectangular and also circular sections too, where I also recreated some sections here before. Okay, once I finish creating these elements here, and probably I will need to create all the elements, the fans, the heat recoveries, the air terminals, accessories, or if you are talking about water distribution or water-based air conditioning, all these elements. Okay, the idea is to first create all the elements that we need, we will accept, and then we can start modeling the installation itself. I will not model here anything that is complete, but I just would like to show you these new buttons that are available here, because this is part of this new feature. Then we now can add rigid, semi-flexible, and flexible ducts. And as you can see, it's very easy to introduce these elements. For example, when I select a rigid duct, the first thing that we can select is if it's a rectangular section, or if it's a circular section, okay? And when I select one of these options, clicking here in this little arrow, I can select between those that were downloaded from the manufacturers. In this case, there was a manufacturer called URSA with some ducts that are with this with these characteristics, or we can go to our library of generic elements and then find those elements that were introduced before manually, or that were introduced and saved in our computer and use it from another use it in another project. Okay, so here you can select in this case that is a manufacturer. You can select not just the catalog but also the material, and also one specific material can have more models. I don't know if it's the case here, but sometimes could have this situation. Okay, so here you can select between manufacturers, options for manufacturers, or options that were introduced by us, the users of the software. Okay, once you select one of these options, okay, I would just take one here random, you just start modeling. Okay, very easy to model this structure. Of course, this is just an example. We must connect everything here, add all those fittings. Okay, but as you can see, the software is very easy to model. It's like modeling something on Cype architecture, for example, or any other 3D modeler. But in this case, we are creating ducts that will be used to analyze the structure, the installation itself. Okay, just to show you some examples that I think are very nice here on the semi-flexible and flexible ducts. I will choose flexible. They are quite similar, and here we can also go to the blue arrow. So remember, every time that you see this blue arrow, click on it, because there is something nice to see. It's always something that is very helpful. So in this case, the software tells us that from all those manufacturers that we've downloaded information, there are no manufacturers catalogs that are from flexible ducts. Okay, but we've created our own library for these generic elements. Some generic elements that are rectangular. Okay, so I will select one of that. I will accept. And here it's the same situation. Let me just go a little bit like this. And here it's nice because when you start modeling, you can see that everything is going to be created. All the joints, they will be generated. Okay, I think I created here one that it was too small. So you can easily create your model like this. Okay, let's open one that is circular, for example, from this one, just to see the difference. Let's grab one of these, for example, this size. So as you can see, I just click and then I move, and all the elbows and all the feet, the different elements are automatically generated. Look how easy it is to create this kind of ducts here using this CYPEHVAC. Okay, of course you can combine this tool with all those options that we have here in the upper menu. For example, using the orthogonality, or even using the polar tracking. If you have other elements, for example, like a construction, like different walls or any other elements from your building, you can use the snap tools, okay, to model your element. And then of course you can use the tools that we have here to delete something, or to move something, to edit something. Okay, so here you can easily use the edition tools that we have here, that are transversal tools that work with everything here at CYPEHVAC, to also change, to model, or to change something in these ducts that now can be introduced easily here with these 3 buttons. Okay, but remember, to use it, first fill your library with generic elements or with elements from the manufacturers, because you need those dimensions or that technical information to then start modeling. Okay.